how important was it to tell the story?
Well, originally it was about trying to do a film about his whole life, which I'm not a fan of, because I don't think you can do anyone's life. And so he just narrowed it down to these berserk 3 years in the world, history of the world, which also, 3 years where Jesse Owens goes from being a boy to a man, really. Meets Larry Snyder, played by Jason Sudeikis, who's this guy who is not a racist purely because he wants to win. He doesn't see color, and his desire to win at all costs, and Jesse's desire just to be free and run, combined to create something which could be a fairy tale if it wasn't true, I think. And I have to remind everyone all the time that this is a really true, gritty story about a kid who comes from a really tough background and lives in a country where racism is built into law and has to try and figure out what to do with his life. He wants to do the best thing for his family and himself, and then he has the complications of all these politics. Meanwhile, in Nazi Germany, the Germans are branding a sporting event as a sort of corporate event and creating the modern Olympics to show that they're not really thugs and gangsters, which they are, and homicidal maniacs. They are a true, authentic political force and a party that has a history which is all lies. And it's supposed to be known as the Nazi Olympics, and they intended to have all the rest of the Olympics in the future in Germany, either in Munich or Berlin. And so Jesse Owens comes through and just destroys their party, and it becomes the Jesse Owens Olympics, and it ruins everything. And we try and show Rennie Riefenstahl's point of view of the thing. We try and show, Jesse's best friend became a Nazi athlete, Carl Long. There's a background of politics where the NAACP don't want Jesse to run. There's a background of politics where Jeremy Irons and William Hurt are fighting it out in the Olympic Committee, their characters, to whether America should boycott the Olympics or not. So there's a lot of story, and it's a really big sort of epic tale. So it felt like the right few years to pick, I think.
Stephen, you've had a very varied career. You changed television pretty much single-handedly, the narrative of TV. How do you feel about it? What makes you tick in this regard?
I like to do different things at Chadvi. I've done comedy and horror movies and science fiction, and I've done another biopic which is about Peter Sellers, and I'm rebooting 24 now, actually, doing a new version, an entirely different version for it. I don't know, I like to do things that are challenging, that are contemporary. On TV, I find you can be more contemporary. Films, they take a long time, so sometimes they're redundant by the time they come out or whatever, So it's so interesting nowadays, so many movies are either science fiction or real life. There's not much in real stories. There's so much in between. But TV I find very contemporary. American TV right now is amazing, with all the different outlets. It's really, for me growing up, the great movies for me growing up were in the 60s and 70s, were these great American movies, often with Europeans over here making them. And now that way of thinking is on television. The great writing and the anti-hero characters and stuff are on TV. So yeah, it's an exciting time to be a filmmaker. It's nice to jump back and forth between TV and movies, I think.